Welcome to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's weather forecast, we'll be going over a strong storm system moving across the southern tier of the United States and a potential strong nor'easter moving in as we go into early next week with a lot to unpack in today's weather forecast. So let's waste no time. Let's get into the weather forecast here. Our current weather pattern and synoptics this morning, we do have a low pressure trough across portions of southeastern Canada, bringing not only colder temperatures, but some snow showers as of this morning. And then we have a high pressure ridge back across western portions of Canada into British Columbia and Alberta. We'll be talking about more on that here in just a couple of minutes. But with that low pressure trough, that's going to keep that cold air bottled up further to the north across southern Canada and the northern tier of the United States. Here are your current temperatures waking up for this morning. In the Twin Cities region, around 21 or 22 degrees, even the mid and upper teens as we wake up this morning into North Dakota and northern Minnesota up here in the northern United States. Also pretty chilly for this time of year. Further to the south, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 44, 47 over into the Jackson, Mississippi region this morning. Just taking a look at the current snow depth in inches across the Northeast and New England, we did lay down some decent snows across western Maine, and portions of northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and portions of New York State, especially upstate New York, over the past 24 to 48 hours with that back-end deformation snow band that we did see with our latest snow system. And that is actually leading to some colder temperatures where we have the deeper snowpack. We have those temperatures down into the middle and even low 20s this morning. So definitely bundle up across the Northeast and New England, especially where you do have that snowpack in place. Looking at our current weather conditions this morning across the entire United States, we have a double-barreled area of high pressure across the northern plains and the southeast as of this morning. A few snow showers in association with our low-pressure trough up here across southeastern Canada and the upper Great Lakes regions. That could bring us some lighter snow accumulations of up to an inch perhaps across portions of western Quebec, southern Ontario, or the UP of Michigan, possibly a dusting of snow as of this morning. But other than that, as we go into midweek, notice that ridge I was talking about across western Canada will be shifting into south central Canada and the northern tier of the United States, especially into the upper Midwest on Wednesday. This is tomorrow, and notice the brighter colors here. That does indicate that this is going to intensify as we go into the midweek time frame, and it will expand as well at the same time later this week across southern Canada and the United States. So what this means is our temperatures will be ticketed for above normal status as we go through later this week. So let's check out those temperatures here. Wednesday afternoon, this is tomorrow afternoon on December 13th, we will be seeing that 40-degree line shifting further to the north again across the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and then back into the Midwestern regions. As we go into Thursday, look at that 40-degree line going all the way up there into southern Canada. We're into the mid-40s in places like Milwaukee, Chicago, even Indianapolis, and closing in on 50 in St. Louis on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, that 50-degree line begins to shift even further north as well. So places like Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, even the Lexington, Kentucky region will be closing in on a few degrees of 50 degrees as we go into that Friday, December 15th timeframe for mid-month. We are tracking a strong storm system, however, across the southwestern United States by midweek. This is on your Wednesday, December 13th. That low pressure system will be moving in toward the Phoenix region on Wednesday. You can see this is the 500 millibar vorticity signature, and the brighter the color here, the more spin you have in the mid levels of the atmosphere. That will be slowly shifting into New Mexico on Thursday, and then by Friday, we will see that start to move out across the southern plains into Oklahoma, the Red River vicinity, and into Texas Hill Country on Friday. And this will be a slow moving system. This is cut off from the main flow in the jet stream because our main jet stream is all the way to the north over top of that ridge. So this is going to be cut off to the south of that flow and be a slow moving system as we go through later this week. It will have its sights on the Gulf of Mexico, and it will be pulling up a lot of Gulf of Mexico moisture later this week as well, especially into Texas, Oklahoma, and eastern New Mexico as it does rain itself out. You can see on Wednesday, very heavy rains for the Texas Panhandle, west central Texas, and eastern New Mexico, and then across the Front Range down into northeastern New Mexico and southeastern Colorado. You do notice a rain-snow mix or all snow across some of those areas on Wednesday. That shifts further east with that rain-snow line across portions of the Amarillo region, possibly as far south as Lubbock, Texas on Thursday, picking up a couple of inches there of snow perhaps. And then on Friday, notice it's a slow-moving system. It's pushing further to the east there across Oklahoma and Texas on Friday, bringing places like the Ardmore region, Oklahoma City, Lawton in Oklahoma, some rainfall, Dallas, Fort Worth, down to the Waco area, and even Corpus Christi, some rainfall as we go into that Friday time frame. This system will have a significant source of moisture, and that's the Gulf of Mexico, and we're going to see a lot of rainfall from this system. You can see lots of eastern New Mexico, western Oklahoma, much of Texas there, western Louisiana will be seeing some heavier rainfall through the early part of this upcoming weekend. Zooming it in here are your rainfall totals through that Saturday, December 16th time frame with our next storm system. The Amarillo area down to Midland and Lubbock, Texas, there into the Texas Panhandle and western Texas. We'll be seeing 1 to 3 inches of rain. Wichita Falls around 2 inches. Over into the Dallas Fort Worth area, down into portions of Tyler, Texas, and Waco, and down into the Houston Metroplex. We could be seeing 1 to as much as 3 inches of rain later this week. And it couldn't come at a better time. We have a very dry environment down here across the southern United States and really the middle of the country in general, but this is coming at a good time. Our soil moisture anomalies are well below normal here, especially from Dallas, Fort Worth on southward there toward the Corpus Christi area and the Houston Metroplex. So we definitely could use the rainfall. And with that, even though we have the dry soil, we still need to watch out for some flash flooding here Thursday into Friday. Our friends at the Weather Prediction Center forecasting a marginal risk of flash flooding across west central Texas and a small portion of southwestern Oklahoma there Thursday into that Friday time frame. And then as the heavier rainfall shifts into eastern and southeastern Texas on Friday into Saturday, that will bring areas like the Dallas-Fort Worth area and Houston down toward Corpus Christi into that marginal risk for flash flooding there Friday into Saturday. We did note that we do have some snowfall on the backside of the system, just enough marginal cold air to work with off the Front Range of the Rockies. We could be seeing a few to several inches of accumulating snow from the Front Range there into eastern Colorado, into portions of New Mexico there, with the bullseye of the heaviest snow into northeastern New Mexico, but also southwestern Kansas, the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle, and possibly as far south as Lubbock, Texas, could be seeing at least a dusting and maybe up to a couple of inches of snow as we go in through this upcoming weekend. But we will be watching the system and where it goes by this weekend's time frame. So it will be moving through Texas and then eventually across the far northern Gulf of Mexico by Saturday and arriving near portions of the Naples, Tampa Bay, and the Key West region in general on Saturday as a 1,004 millibar low. But notice it takes that left-hand turn just off the southeast coast on Sunday and really deepens. We still have warm waters out here in the western Atlantic basin. So that means rapid intensification of a low pressure system is likely, down to a 989 millibar low off the Carolina coast on Sunday, and then really starting to bomb out, and a powerful nor'easter is possible into early next week. This is Monday, December 18th, a 967 millibar low as forecasted by the European model just off of the coast of Cape Cod there and Long Island as we go into early next week. So let's track this here starting on Saturday. This will be bringing some heavier rains to south central Florida there, places like Miami, Tampa Bay, the Naples and Fort Myers region, and then over there toward Daytona Beach. Be watching out for some moderate to heavy pockets of rain and some embedded thunderstorms. Likely nothing severe, but just some very heavy soaking rain there on Saturday. Then as that system takes that left-hand turn across the Carolina coast there, it will rapidly deepen to a 989 millibar low, and we could be seeing some very strong winds on the backside with some wind-driven rain across the Carolinas into eastern Georgia, and then onshore flow as well across the Carolinas, in particular North Carolina, Sunday into Sunday night. Watching out for some of that wave action out there and even some storm surge if we do get a low pressure this strong. Then it'll really bomb out up here across the Northeast near Long Island and Cape Cod into Massachusetts. 966 or a 967 millibar low there. Not a lot of cold air to work with until it gets up into Canada, so mostly a rain event still for that I-95 corridor. I know we've been really itching for snow up here across coastal portions of New England and the Northeast. Looking like a rain system again as we go into early next week. And you can see that. And it'll be a heavy rainfall producer as well from Florida up the East Coast into the mid-Atlantic coast there, the I-95 corridor, and then up there toward coastal Maine, seeing some very heavy rains on the order of 1 to 3+ inches as we go through early next week. And notice the snowfall is not very prevalent with this system because there's just not a lot of cold air to work with. So it won't really be producing too much significant snow until it really moves into southeastern and eastern Canada again, like we've seen it all season. However, there could be some snow accumulations across New York State, especially upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and western Maine, areas that saw snow with the last system. Could see a couple more inches of snow with this next system into early next week. Another impact from this storm will be the significant waves out there. Notice we have the onshore flow across the southeast coast, especially the Carolinas getting hard hit with this onshore flow Sunday into Sunday night. Those wave heights not too far off the coast there of Myrtle Beach and portions of the Wilmington region could be up to around 10 feet or more, and then really starting to strengthen with that onshore flow for portions of Long Island, Cape Cod, up into Massachusetts there, into portions of coastal Maine, and even Nova Scotia could be seeing some really strong onshore flow Monday into Monday night with those wave heights out there well over 20 feet, not too far off the coast. So some storm surge and some coastal flooding will be likely. And we have to talk about the winds as well. We could be seeing some very strong wind gusts with this system. More eastern side loaded on Sunday, so the strongest of winds will be off the coast on Sunday into Sunday night. But then as we go into Monday and Monday night time frame, those real strong wind gusts could be pushing up across Cape Cod, the Boston region, getting into Hartford there in Connecticut, New York City and Long Island, New Jersey. We could be seeing wind gusts up and over 50 miles per hour if this does verify. Wind advisories and even high wind warnings could be possible early next week with a system that strong. And then as we go through the long range time frame through Christmas Day itself on Monday, December 25th, behind this system, again, above normal temperatures will be favored across 95% of the country, unless you live in South Central Florida down here into the Tampa Bay, Fort Myers, Naples, or Miami region, and then you'll see near normal temperatures through that last week or so into December. And looking at our temperatures for Christmas Eve, here are your potential highs. And you can see there's a lot of 50s on the map across the middle of the country. Yes, you are seeing that correctly. We could be into the low 50s there in Des Moines on Christmas Eve, possibly into portions of southern Minnesota in the low 50s on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve night, these are your lows potentially. We could only drop down into the 30s and 40s there, maybe a little cooler across the east, a little cooler across the west there with the warmest air in the middle of the country. And then on Christmas Day, here are your potential high temperatures for the 25th of the month. That 40-degree line again, folks, going all the way up into southern Canada there. So no white Christmas for a lot of us out there unless you live into the Rockies, the Pacific Northwest, into those higher elevations, or really into central Canada is where a lot of that snowpack will be. Although if we do get snow with our next system here across interior New England, we could be seeing a little bit of snowpack for a white Christmas there from western Maine, northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and into upstate New York, possibly seeing a white Christmas if that snowfall does end up sticking around through Christmas Day. Looking at that pattern, though, we are going to be seeing an active pattern. That subtropical jet is not going anywhere anytime soon across the southern tier of the United States. It will be pumping in that eastern Pacific moisture. So right behind that storm system, it will dry up. But then look at the atmospheric river coming into California, the Sacramento Valley there, possibly down to San Diego, Los Angeles, into the Las Vegas region. Could be seeing some very heavy rains for that Christmas week time frame. And that will extend eastward into the central and southern plains, and then eventually into the southeastern U.S. with time, probably after that Christmas holiday time frame. So lots to get in for this forecast. Thank you guys for sticking with me and giving you updates on what is to come through the rest of December. Consider subscribing to the channel down below if you do like detailed weather breakdowns across North America. I am here for each and every one of you, and thank you all so much for supporting the channel and subscribing. Be sure to press the thumbs up button down below, share this video with friends, family, and on social media, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday out there.